Hello, friends, and welcome to late afternoon Bible study on Adventures in Pixie Land. We are still in the NIV. We are in the book of Luke. We are in chapter 7. We're going to do verses 36 through 50, and then we'll have one more video today in the book of Revelations. So let's jump in. Jesus anointed by a sinful woman. 36. Now, one of the Pharisees invited Jesus to have dinner with him. So he went to the Pharisee's house and reclined at the table. When a woman who had lived a sinful life in her town learned that Jesus was eating at the Pharisee's house, she brought an alabaster jar of perfume. And she stood behind him at his feet weeping. She began to wet his feet with her tears, and then she wiped them with her hair, kissed them, and poured perfume on them. When the Pharisee who had invited him saw this, he said to himself, if this man were a prophet, he would know who is touching him and what kind of woman she is, that she is a sinner. Jesus answered him, Simon, I have something to tell you. Tell me, teacher, he said. 2 men owed money to a certain moneylender. One owed him 500 denarii. Okay? So the denarius is a coin worth about a day's wages. Okay, and the other 50. Neither of them had the money to pay him back, so he canceled the debt of both. Now, which of them will love him more? Simon replied, I suppose the one who had the bigger debt canceled. You have judged correctly, Jesus said. Then he turned toward the woman and said to Simon, do you see this woman? I came to your house. You did not give me any water from my feet. Now, I know that seems like a strange statement. Understanding they're roaming about the world in sandals. Okay, open-toed sandals in the desert. They're kicking up dust. Dirt's getting all over their feet. You're going to walk around your house with all the dirt from the outside all over on the inside of your house where it's hard to keep it clean in the first place. I live in the desert. Sandals are popular in the summer. Yeah, I can see why they were washing their feet at the door. You did not give me any water from my feet, but she wet my feet with her tears and wiped them with her hair. You did not give me a kiss, but this woman from the time I entered has not stopped kissing my feet. You did not put any oil on my head, and she poured perfume on my feet. Therefore, I tell you, her many sins have been forgiven, for she loved much. But he who has been forgiven little loves little. Then Jesus said to her, your sins are forgiven. The other guests began to say amongst themselves, who is this who even forgives sins? Jesus said to the woman, your faith has saved you. Go in peace. So note, though, how they're in the background going, who is this who thinks he has the right to forgive sins? Now, I know it could seem like it's a time to be very, like that can make us feel very judgmental because we know it's the Messiah. But if you were going about your everyday life and somebody were saying that around you, you wouldn't necessarily have that same reaction. You might be a little like, who is this who thinks he gets to forgive sins? Because I don't get to forgive sins. I don't get to, decide people have sinned, and I don't get to keep people out of heaven. I don't get to throw people into hell. There's a lot of things I don't get to do blissfully because I don't want the ability to do that. I know my temper well enough to know that that is not good. That's not a good plan, which might be why God didn't give it to me to do. So blissfully looking out for me and knowing me better than I could even know me. And that is a blessing any day. So until a few more minutes from now, friends, in the book of Revelations.